We briefly made a coverage on this the beginning of this year and the ending of last year. So imagine this, you've been saving up for years. You finally have enough money for a plane ticket to visit your family who are living in America. You go to the US Embassy, you apply for a tourist visa, you fill out a form, you pass every interview. The officer looking at you says, "Congratulations, you are approved." And then they hand you one more piece of paper. You need to put down 15,000 before they issue you your visa. Not a flight, not a hotel, not a spending money, just to get the visa itself. 15,000 locked up with the US government, and if you overstay your visa by even one single day, that money is gone forever. That is not a hypothetical, that is real. It started last year, and as of 2 days ago, March 18th, it just expanded to 50 countries, and 60 of those countries are in Africa. Now, whether you're personally affected by this or not, someone you know probably is, and they need to understand exactly what this program does, how it works, what is your right, and what critics are saying about it. Now, let's talk about what this program really is, because the name sounds simple, but the details matter enormously. What is the Visa Bond Program? It's essentially a financial guarantee. Think of it like a security deposit, except instead of an apartment, you're depositing money with the US government as a promise that you will leave the US on time when your visa expires. The legal authority for this program came from Section 221G3 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, a law that has existed for decades but never used broadly. The Trump administration launched this as a pilot program on the August 5th of 2025 through a temporary final rule, meaning it was implemented without the usual public comment period that most major policy changes require. So here's how it works, right? And I want you to follow this carefully because the details matter step by step. Step one, you apply for the B1 or B2 visa. A B1 is a business visitor visa. A B2 is a tourist or a medical visitor visa. If you're from one of the 50 countries on the list and on the consulate office decides a bond applies to you, they will tell you at the interview that you must post bond before your visa can be issued. Step two, the amount is set 5,000, 10,000, or 15,000. The consular office decides which amount at the time of your interview. There is no public formula explaining exactly how they decide. It's just at their discretion, basically. 3. You must submit DHS Form I-352, the immigration bond form, and pay through the U.S. Treasury official website, which is pay.gov only. This is critical. Do not use any third-party website. The U.S. government has made explicitly clear it is not responsible for money paid outside of its own system. So scammers are likely to be targeting people from these countries with fake bond payments websites. Do not fall for it. Step 4, the travel rules, right? Once your visa is issued and you travel to America, you must enter and exit only through commercial airports. You cannot use charter planes, private aviations, land border crossing, or seaports. If you enter or exit through the wrong port, your departure may not be properly recorded. And importantly, it will be improperly recorded. Departure can be treated as the same as an overstay, meaning you could lose your entire bond even if you left on time. So be sure to enter through the proper channels. Step 5 is getting your money back. Your bond is returned automatically if you leave the US on or before your authorized departure date, not department, and if you never travel at all. Now, here is a reality though. Even if you leave after the proper on time departure, it can take several months for the funds to be processed and returned to your account. And step 6, forfeiture. If you overstay even for one day, violate your visa terms, for example, by working on a tourist visa, or if you apply for asylum or try to change your immigration status inside the US while on bond, the bond may be forfeited. Every dollar gone to the US Treasury. So let me ask you this question though. I want you let this meddle in, right? A bond does not guarantee a visa. You can pay 15,000 and still be denied. Does that seem fair? Now, on the 18th of March, the department announced that it's expanding this program to a total of 50 countries effective the 2nd of April. The newly added 12 countries are Cambodia, Ethiopia, Georgia, Grenada, Lesotho, Mauritania, Mongolia, Mozambique, Nicaragua, Papua Guinea, Bissau, Seychelles Islands, in Tunisia. They joined the existing of 30 countries that were already subject to this original thing, bond or program. I shouldn't say thing, program. Some of the other countries are like Nepal, Nigeria, Cuba, Bangladesh, Tanzania, Uganda, and so on and so forth. You can see the trend. Majority of them are in the continent Africa. So when you look at the full list, the list includes also countries in Asia, Latin America, the Caribbean, and some of the Pacific. India is not on the list. China is not on the list. Most of Western European is not on the list. Now, the State Department official explanation for who ends on this list is straightforward. Countries are selected on their B1 and B2 visa overstay rate from the Department of Homeland Security's annual entry and exit overstay report. Any country with an overstay rate of 10% or higher, meaning more than 10 out of 100 visitors did not leave when required, qualifies for this program. This is the government stated reason, and we present it fully and fairly, which I think I would agree with that. If you do overstay, then there might be consequences to it, but why not bring my money back to me? Right? Especially if I'm gonna have a violation. So there's another question though. Critics are asking and rising, and I want you to think about it. If the selection is purposely based on overstay, why are 60% of the countries on the list African, and why other wealthy nations with high overstay rates are not in it? That is a debate, and it is an important one to have. Now, what can you do? Because if you or someone you love is from any of these 50 countries and planning to visit the US, then here's exactly what you need to know. First, check your countries on the list. Go directly to travel.state.gov. This is the official US travel website. Look for the visa bond section. The full list is there. Do not rely on social media posts or secondhand information. Go to the official source. Second, know your bond amount advance if you can. The officer decides at your interview, but 15,000 is the maximum. So budget for the maximum so you're not caught off guard. Third, pay through pay.gov. This is pay.gov, operated by the US Treasury. That is the only place to post your bond. There are already reports of scammers creating fake bond websites targeting people from these countries. If someone sends you a link to pay your visa bond anywhere other than pay.gov, do not click it, do not pay it, report it. And number 4, enter and exit through only commercial airports, not land borders, not seaports, no charter flights, commercial international airports only, including CBP pre-clearance locations. If you exit through the wrong port and your departure is not properly recorded, you could lose your entire bond, even if you left on time, guys. Don't overstay, not even one day. Sixth, speak to an immigration attorney before you apply, especially if you have any previous immigration history, overstays, visa denials, prior deportations. An attorney can advise you on your specific situation before you lock up thousands of dollars in a process that may not result in a visa. And finally, if you're applying from one of the newly 12 unadded countries, your deadline is April 2nd, right? That is about 2 weeks from now. If you have a visa interview scheduled before April 2nd, the bond requirement may not apply yet. So check directly with your embassy or consulate to confirm. Now, this was reporting on immigration law. Hopefully you understood what we talked about today. You know more about this program than most people who have been talking about it online. Share this video with someone who needs it. And if you have questions about your specific situation, the only person that can give you real legal advice is a qualified immigration attorney. Subscribe to Voices with Anisa Qalbi. We'll be back. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I leave you all in the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.